Welcome to the What Now podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Powers. Follow along as I figure out how to go from feeling lost and at a crossroads in my life to hopefully, eventually, being found. If you have ever felt like you needed a change or pivoting from your current experience is necessary, but you just don't know how, join me. Wanderers are always welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to What Now, a podcast for Lost and Found. This is your host, Amanda. I am so excited to have you here. This is part 2 of our interview with my good friend Judah. If you listened to part 1, you know all about him. We have been really good friends for a long time. We met back in fall, I think, 2013. I had just graduated from Ole Miss. I was 21 or 22, didn't know a lick about fitness, but had dated a bodybuilder and wanted to pick Judah's brain and learn a little more about the sport. And we ended up becoming fast friends. And now you get kind of crazy content from the two of us whenever we're on a show together. So I hope you enjoy these 3 parts of these episodes. And let me know what you think. And don't forget to reach out to Judah if you're interested in working with him. All of our contact information will be posted to the description box of each episode, and let us know what you think. Enjoy.
I'm the guy in the gym now who I've spent so much time in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I am an advice snob.
An advice snob? Is that like the biggest flattery thing somebody could do? Walk up and ask you for advice in the gym?
No. It's the opposite.
Oh, okay.
The opposite is somebody walking up to me with bogus advice.
Oh.
You know how that random guy who, hey man, if you closed your grip a little bit, or if you did this or this or this will happen. And me knowing that I've already done the research on it,
Mm-hmm.
and what he's saying is absolutely not right. I will, and like I said, I don't judge people's character. I don't judge who they are. I don't judge their race. I don't judge whoever they are.
Yeah.
But the moment you come up to me with bogus information in the gym, bless your heart.
Okay.
If you from the South,
No, I know.
when you tell somebody bless your heart, you know what that means.
Yeah. Well,
Because
what do you
that's just
say?
the thing. It's
What do you say when somebody does that to you? Because I'm sure this happened a lot. Do you acknowledge it and move on, or do you go, actually, I appreciate it, but
And what's crazy is through the process, I've grown. And that's a great question. I've grown to
yeah.
having the best answer.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot of maturity and humility,
Yeah.
because before I've learned in therapy, before I address situations, I never addressed them with my emotions, because that's what would get me in trouble. When someone says something like, hey, did you know if you did this or that? In my mind, I feel like you're trying to tell me I'm stupid, that I don't know what I'm doing. And I have not done the proper research to do what I need to do to better myself. That's how I would think about it. And I would take it personal. So therefore, if I take it personal, those defense mechanisms automatically come up. And that's when you say rude stuff. That's when you say stuff that you can't get back. And also, you don't know how many interactions you're ever going to have with that person. And the last thing I want is because this is how the world works. That one interaction with that one person, you don't know who that person knows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all I was doing, I walked up to him in the gym and I was just trying to tell him if he did this right. Like, this is what I learned. And he got smart with me. He was an a-hole.
Yeah. Got a ripple effect. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So what I learned was, before reacting, take my emotions out of it. And once I take my emotions out of it, I can take being personal out of it. And I actually sit back and listen to what that person says. Now, from there are so many ways I can scale this interaction. I can first scale this interaction was, okay, well, how about you jump under this weight that I'm doing and show me? Show me what you're talking about. Like, explain to me what you're trying to express to me.
Sure.
You know how many guys don't do that? It's because they came over with the egoic mentality. Because I've learned in the gym is like the freaking jungle. You know what I mean? You got your alpha predators, you got your hyenas and jackals, you got your bottom feeders. Like, I'm gonna do my first podcast on the gym.
Jungle.
The lions, the hyenas, like it's just
Yo. That's the name of the podcast. Jungle
lions and
Gym.
hyenas.
That's the name. No.
No, ass hyenas.
Yeah, for real though. I'm trying to tell you. But no, for real. That should be the name, because for people that don't know, years ago, 5-6 years ago, I tried to approach Judah about us doing a podcast together called Doers, Dreamers, and Dumbbells. And we'll save that because maybe that'll turn into a thing someday. But
You the producer.
the Jungle Gym with Amanda and Judah, but Gym is GYM, and it's us talking about all the lifestyle bodybuilding, the chaos of being in a gym, the do's and don'ts, dating in a gym, not breaking up in a gym, running a gym. Like, what does it mean?
I don't think. Look, first off,
Jungle Gym I think's hilarious.
No, we're not gonna do the jungle gym. You know what we're gonna do?
Why?
No, it's lunchroom gym.
Lunchroom gym. What?
Think about in high school, and this is something that everybody can relate to. Think about your high school lunchroom. That was the most diverse ecosystem that you had ever experienced in your life. You had your jocks that sat at that table.
Well, they talk about yeah. Well, they talk about that Mean Girls. That's a scene from Mean Girls.
Exactly. That's you cannot tell me that Mean Girls could not have shot a whole movie in the gym.
Yeah, probably, but it's the reference though still about the lunchroom is that it is a human manifestation of the jungle
and the gym.
Yeah, but they don't talk about it like the gym, which is why we would call it Jungle Gym.
I get you. We'll play with it. You know, you're the producer, so.
Well, yeah, but it's a play on words.
I'm just the talent.
Just the talent. I'm just the face of it. I'm gonna make all the sales, but you gotta do all the meta work. Yeah.
I shaved this morning too, so just FYI.
Oh, did you do that for me or the 22-year-old that's gonna ask you if you're 30?
It's all about the cheekbones.
Oh my god. Let me casually not answer that question. Because it's definitely not for you. It was for side chick one. And then,
I mean, we're not gonna. Let's get back on topic.
I was talking to this girl. She's a toucan, and then her best friend's a cheetah, and Cheetah saw me from upstairs, but Toucan was downstairs, and I had to go and talk to Toucan. Got to holler at her.
What was crazy was Lion. You know, I'm the alpha lion. I had my pride with me, and we was over here trying to eat. And we look in the back, and we getting followed by some jackals, and you know they gonna try to steal. You know what I'm saying? So we got to, make a point. Bite them on the butt or something. Get them away.
Oh, I'm just gonna hang out in the back with the elephants.
You gonna get stepped on.
Nuh-uh.
You can't. No.
I'm an elephant. What are you talking about? Psh, I'll step. I can step somewhere. Just not.
You know what? I'm not gonna even go down that elephant route.
What, the elephant route?
No, I don't even want to explain. You and your pachyderms can you can be.
What?
I'm not going to expound on where the elephants are in the gym setting.
Well, now you have to. If I'm not allowed to be over there because I'm going to get stomped.
So when we talk about the character, this is like psychology 101. Honestly, that's why this is such a good thing.
Yeah,
it's because you got to understand who the elephant is in the animal kingdom.
Then address the elephant in the room, Judah.
You see what I'm saying? The elephant in the room is the person who thinks that everybody is looking at them because of how they appear.
Oh.
That's where we talk about the elephant in the room being the biggest thing in the room.
Yeah.
Well, the elephants in the gym are those people who can't get past being the elephant in the room.
Okay, then yeah, that's not me. I don't give two
Not
shits.
not knowing, not
Mhm.
knowing that no one's really paying you any attention. No
Right.
one's like judging you. No one's like, but you walk by and well, I wish I can run as fast as the cheetah. I wish I was as small as that, but I'm lumbering around and all that,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
they become the elephants in the room because of their insecurities. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants rough skin. Elephants got tons of rough skin. You know what I mean? They're big,
That's a
they're
survival
huge, they're taking up space.
which is what we're supposed to do and not be afraid of taking up space. It's
Thank you.
2024. Take up some GD space.
And check this out though.
What?
Who's also the smartest animal out there?
The L.
So think about the smartest. I know so many smart people who struggle with gym culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's the ability to be smart is the ability to think at a high level. Well, being in the gym, you might want to tone that down just a tad bit. Working out is more flow than thought. I mean, you put a little thought behind, okay, I'm working this particular muscle, I'm making a mind muscle connection. But
Yeah.
after that, it's just putting some John Mayer on and getting to
John,
it.
we should have played this game. Oh my god. What is in Judah's iPod? Yeah, what's playing in Judah's headphones right now?
Man,
Or
so
what do people think you're listening to versus what you're really listening to?
if people know me, they would never play this game. They would never
Yeah,
because I'm
let's
so
play this right now.
eclectic.
Let's play it right now, though.
All right. What do you think
What
is in my
but what's the stereotype though for you that people think you're listening to XYZ, but you're
okay?
actually listening to? Yeah.
This is a live a social experiment, guys.
Oh
This is where
shit.
the stereotype comes from. Amanda,
Yes.
I got 10 songs in my top
Oh no.
playlist.
Yeah.
Give me an artist that you think or genre.
Mm-hmm.
I won't even say specifics of an artist,
Yeah.
a genre that you think is in my top three.
I want to say stereotypically that it's going to be rap because that's what you post, R&B rap stuff because that's what you post with your Instagram reels or like your
Oh, so
workout
you
reels.
fun.
But I think you're listening more cerebral stuff because you're like you said, you're trying to be focused and like flow. So you're listening to like classical or not jazz, but like non-word sound music.
Okay.
So no lyrics. Would be more like classical, chill sounds.
All right, so you were close with that.
Okay.
You were close with the cerebral stuff
Yeah, the cerebral
because
intellectual sound of some kind.
all right. So what's the best cerebral type of sounds to listen to when you have copious amounts of time to listen?
Probably podcast for you.
Oh my god.
Mhm. It would be podcast. Yeah, you're listening to podcasts that are about business or growth or science because you like facts and shit. Yeah.
There's a podcast on, and this one is programmed in my playlist literally on Spotify. It's called
Yeah.
Philosophize This.
Okay.
Have you heard of Philosophize This?
Mm-mm. Nah.
Yeah, you
You
know
send it
me.
to me.
I'm stoic. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus.
Yeah.
Like that's what I listen to when I work out. And then my number one group that I listen to is the Black Pumas. Like
Yeah.
that's it. Black
Mhm.
Pumas. And then I wanted to go to the concert last night. Son Little was in Nashville
Oh, why didn't you go?
because I'm trying to figure out my balance.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out my balance. I mean, the show has been over for what? This is 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I still can't find my. That's another thing, and I'm glad we're making this turn back
Returning back.
to the
Well, yeah.
particular topic.
Yeah. What do you do post show to either
Yeah.
get back into maintenance or, get back to yourself? Because you did. you gave up a lot and like did kind of lose yourself in the show prep. So like how do
Yeah.
you circle back to who Judah is and what Judah wants after a show? Because you would think
You
that you
have
should be able to celebrate. You should be able to be like, all right, I can go to a concert without drinking. I can go to a concert without ordering the nachos and the pretzels or whatever and hang out.
no, that's not the problem.
Oh, then what's the problem?
The problem is I've become so efficient in my loneliness.
Wait, what?
I've become efficient in my loneliness.
Okay.
I love being to myself. If Son Little was just playing for Judah, I wouldn't have a problem with going.
Okay.
But the fact that I haven't been around that many people
Mm-hmm.
for anything other than working out or or naked people in the backstage of a bodybuilding, I don't go anywhere. So just
Yeah.
getting myself back out there in that social mentality, it builds anxiety. Like just
Oh.
being around that many people. It's the anxiety of like it's crazy. I can get on a stage in my underwear with hundreds of people in the crowd, but going to a concert where it's like I just continuously second guess myself. Okay, I can go. No, you got to drive this far. You got to do this, and yeah, you're gonna be bumping up into people. People gonna be sweating on you,
Mhm.
and you know what I mean. And are you gonna have enough energy to get up and go to the gym tomorrow? Are you gonna? Those were all the things that kind of just like bogged down because I've been so focused on this one particular thing for so long. I don't know how to be social anymore.
That's an interesting. I've listened to topics or conversations before about gym anxiety, like getting immersing yourself into the gym and working out lifestyle has its own anxiety for somebody that's never done that before. But post show anxiety, when you've been living a very specific lifestyle and learning how to reintegrate yourself into a social setting, I've never even thought about that, right? I've never thought about it that way. You're one of the most like social and personable people that I know and easily approachable in something. So like thinking that you would ever be nervous or concerned about being able to go and enjoy yourself doing an activity like that,
Yeah,
I never would have thought about it that way. So it's very curious that you're throughout your fitness career that your anxiety has shifted to different places because I'm sure you were nervous originally to go on stage and now you've tweaked it and worked on it so well that it's become your element. So you're not worried about being in your element anymore, but your element has changed. And therefore going back to an old element, you're like, what is this? What do I do with my hands? Like,
it's to a point where, and I have to be very careful the words that I speak
sure.
because I don't want to put that into the atmosphere and have an opportunity for it to become a reality. So what I'm going to say is it's not that you don't want to do something. It's I'm such a process oriented person now. It's I don't think about the concert. I think about first, let me buy the tickets. Second, stop at the gas station. Third, plan my meals before the show and after the show. Drive to the show. Like this is how my brain thinks about that. And
Mhm.
by the time I get to the end of the preparation for that event, now I'm like, is it worth it though? You know, and in our lives, we have to be malleable. We
Yeah.
have to be able to flow. We have to be people who can adjust. And me and you talked about in our first how to pivot, you know? Like Bruce Lee said, be water, my friend. We have to be able to adjust to the realities of life the way that they come. And when you focus too much on one spectrum of your life, you begin to lose the abilities that you thought that you had locked in.
Yeah.
But you know me as super personable. You know me as loving people, but I can tell you one thing. I know that a lot of my pain and a lot of my hurt throughout this journey
Mm.
has come at the hands of people. That doesn't say that everybody hurt me. That doesn't say that everybody, but you're still aware of how bringing or attending or just having people around you changes your dynamic. And That's a fear. It's a fear that I didn't even know I had until I took my mind off of it. And so I can boil all this down by saying, when we are looking at creating the lifestyle that we so desire moving forward, the quality of life that we structure moving forward, we have to be willing to readjust, and we have to be willing to, that's why we go to therapy,
Yeah.
we have to be willing to, fortify the hole in the wall over here to make sure that everything stays secure. And if you don't pay attention to it, that's when things begin to kind of crumble a little bit. So just being aware of your entire lifestyle. And that was, just sitting back looking at that concert last night, I was like, I do need to make more of an effort to just go. This podcast, I needed to make more effort of being on here, because you get so caught up in that post show. I mean, you got everything from psychology to physiology. You got, like, your body is in a growth stage. This is what we call the post show rebound. And it's taken me just 2 years to figure out that this is the most important part of bodybuilding. After the lights, after the show,
Yeah.
your body is going to rebound, period, point blank. It's going to automatically go into an anabolic state, because in prep, you've cut it. You've taken away things from it. So now that the pressure of the show is off, you have to re-enter you have to re-enter the real world. But your body is like, the moment you give me some food, I'm eating it.
I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna store it in your
I'm
ass.
going to get it. So that's why
And
we
get it
do
and
this
get it
thing
good.
called reverse dieting. And
Yeah, yeah,
reverse dieting is, yes, eat as much as you can,
yeah.
but be aware of, and I always say, ask yourself two questions. Is what I'm eating helping me, or is it hurting me? What I do is I just eat a lot of the things that I know that's going to help my body build itself. So
Mhm.
the rebound phase is maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And if done right, you will have more muscle gain than any other time of the
Yeah.
year,
So
right
you're
after that show.
right, but post show you're gaining weight, so you're not supposed to freak out about that weight gain, because your body knows it cannot maintain stage presence, weight, and
Yeah.
live. You cannot
Yeah.
survive at that
No,
level. But
it
when you
doesn't
do
want
that,
to.
right, but there's a way to gain weight post show that's going to be helpful for you rather than detrimental. I wrote that down in our notes. How is it after your two shows, your two most recent shows? How have you managed the body recomp after these shows without destroying your metabolism, your self worth, or your gains? Because that was what came up in that. So I'll add it in the show notes for anybody that wants to look at it. But there's a female bodybuilder that I follow in the UK, and her name is Meg, and she's one of the Honor Active athletes, and she's sponsored by them and stuff. But she posted a reel where it said, "Watch me gain 10 kgs," and it's her living a life, right? It's her being on stage in the beginning, and then it's her living a life after the fact. And you can, in the reel, you can slowly see her body change. To me, it doesn't look like a significant amount. It's just her going back to a more maintenance level. But in the caption, she talks about, like, I had to come to terms with what I was doing post show was a normal thing, and like I wasn't worthless because I couldn't maintain that like perfect physique, and that everything that I'd worked for to get to that stage wasn't wasted, and like having a balanced lifestyle is the actual goal. Being able to compete is the like extra. It's the cherry on top that I've curated for myself to be able to do that physically, and is a good thing. But like recovery post show is so important mentally and physically. So I sent it to Judah and asked him if we could talk about that on the show today and get his perspective, because it can be dangerous if you don't take care of your body post show. You can tank your metabolism.
Absolutely.
You can ruin your physical function of the physical function of your body, not just at the cellular level, but like all the way through your organs and everything if you're not careful. And that could lead you down a mental spiral as well, because there's so much that goes into that. So I wanted to give the context of why we're talking about that now for anybody that might be confused on they're hopping everywhere today. It's like, well, yeah, because that's how we think. But
All
that's why
right,
I wanted. That's what I
just get
wanted to
in the
do.
car.
Yeah, get in, loser. We're going to talk about metabolism. Yeah,
Get in the back seat. Put your
yeah,
seatbelt on because it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
yeah, gonna be a bumpy ride. But yeah, but that's why I wanted to talk to Judah about this because I have seen his body fluctuate throughout the years, and I have seen him gain and recover, and get to where he is today, which is what seems to be his favorite physique, or at least what he feels is I can look in the mirror and feel good about myself now. 50, what'd you say, 11 years ago?
Yeah.
11 years worth of work. And it's kind of like, it took him that long and he's almost 40 and he doesn't love his body yet. And it's like, yeah, because everybody's got a fucked up sense of perception about themselves. And it doesn't matter how old you are, if you don't address it now or you're not careful with it now, especially for people that are in this industry or interested in competing, you got to take care of it. So I would love it if you could give us some insights. You started to, and then I interrupted you for context, but
You always do.
insight into how you're managing that, and how are you handling it mentally to recomp at post show after 2 successful shows like that.
All right. So the first thing I want to address is just the visual. That's the hardest part that I've come to realize dealing with is the visual aspect of it. Because during prep, you know, if I turn my camera around, you guys see my garage. It's a posing studio.
Mm-hmm.
And, my lights and my mirrors, I literally looked at myself every day for 25 weeks. Well, in this post show rebound, I've had to lessen the amount that I see myself because we both know, and you just alluded to this, there is a game that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look contest ready, 3 weeks after the show.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and be proactive, understand that, and now be prepared for that. So in this next post phase is I had to take the morning portion out of my routine. I don't get up in the morning like I did for 25 weeks and come in the gym and do my cardio and do, my stretching, my vibration therapy, my red light, and then pose. I don't do that anymore because that will automatically give me a sign of failure because I'm going to watch my body go from contest ready to all of a sudden, wait a minute, I saw that line. Well, I saw that line in my back or that cut a week ago, and oh my God, it's gone.
Yeah. Where is it?
When you realize how fast your
Yeah.
body kind of bounces back, it'll take you for a whirlwind. But knowing that up front helps you better manage it. So I, number one, took that morning routine out. Number two is just understanding the body, understanding the body's processes when we talk about metabolism. And I told you, post show is one of the most anabolic times, meaning growth. Your body's like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to soak up whatever you put in it because you deprived it for so long on prep. You've done all this cardio and your body was basically staying afloat by, God's graces. But now when you put the nutrients back in, your body is going to get back to homeostasis, whether you like it or not. And show prep is on the extreme level of homeostasis. Homeostasis is our body's ability to just get back centered.
Mm-hmm.
Show prep is outside of the safe zone.
Yeah.
So
Very, very much so.
the moment we opened that gate and took those chains of prep off, like they say, the patients are running the clinic at that point. Oh, I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I've done is I've taken into consideration that growth happens whether it be muscle or body fat. Something's gonna grow. I've just made the logical decision
Yeah.
that if my body is going to grow, I would rather for my muscles to grow than my body fat. Because what you feed your body depends on how your body utilizes it. If you are constantly putting food in that your body can't utilize, it's gonna go to body fat.
Mm-hmm.
If you continuously eat protein and kind of stick to somewhat of your diet with a looser, just a little bit of a looser kind of mindfulness when it comes down to eating. I'm still eating my normal food, but if Amanda wants to go grab a burger, go grab a burger. Like just keeping everything as loosely facilitated.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good way of explaining it. Keeping it loosely facilitated because I know what's coming. I know that my body is not going to stay contest ready all the time, and that's the hardest part. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be the answer to your question. The hardest part is actually believing the truth. The
Accepting
truth
it.
is accepting the truth.
Yeah.
You're going to gain weight back. Period. I weighed in at 170. You know what I woke up this morning at?
180.
188. And
But yeah,
it's
that's mind fuck. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Rick.
And I feel
Yeah.
amazing. Like I can
Sure.
like one of my boys, he's still in prep and he saw me pulling some weight in the gym. He was like, man, I can't wait. He's like, he's like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to start back lifting heavy again. But he's still in prep, so he's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna have that level of strength to be pulling the heavier
Right,
weights.
because he's eating less. Yeah. Yeah. Doing
Exactly.
more cardio and eating less than you. Yeah.
So you got
When's
to
his
understand these things.
yeah, when's his show?
He 6 more weeks. He's doing the Ben Weeder's natural pro qualifier.
Yeah. Have you talked to him about body recomp after the show and like kind of given him insight into what's going to happen, or does he already know that like he needs to be ready that this could hit him mentally and physically after the show?
Well, we actually had a conversation about our last preps, and we definitely alluded to like his last prep where he kind of, you know, in the quest of creating that calorie surplus, put on too much body fat.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that that's another gym bro myth where just eat a whole lot, gain. The heavier I am, the bigger my muscles.
Not yeah,
Like that's
not
that
not
that that's
necessarily.
that's gym bro myth. Like if I can get my weight up, that means I'm putting on more muscle. No, it doesn't. It just means you getting fat. So by both of us understanding, like you have to put a parameter within your off season. Like
Mhm.
right now, for me, is 190 is my cap. Honestly, 185 is really my cap because once I see it peaking above, that 185 range, that's kind of a yield sign. Green light is between 180 and 185. I can eat, I can work out, I can do whatever I want to do while the light is green. I can go as fast as I want, push as hard as I want.
Yeah.
When that weight gets around 186, 188, my yellow light's coming on.
Mhm. So
When
your yellow
that
light is on right now.
My yellow light is on right now when it
Okay.
comes down to diet.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe I've eaten one too many, cookies or something. Or I've that pizza sure is hanging around that I ate the
Going
other
up.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
You, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think if people focused on those things, I mean, that's a simple analogy right there, that green, yellow, and red.
Yeah.
Where are those areas in our lives? What do you feel like at your green light weight? What do you feel like at your yellow light weight? What do you feel like at your okay, stop gaining weight? You know what I mean? I don't think a
Um
lot of people have those set standards.
yeah, I'm curious if when you've as you developed this red light, green light, red light, yellow light, green light concept, you're it sounds like you're saying that it's the weight gain or the weight loss is a symptom, but the lifestyle choices at each color level have an impact on why that weight was either going up or going down. And so stress could have an impact on why you're sitting in the yellow but you can't get down to the green, or red could be, you what else is going on like at work with your relationships, with your marriage, with your whatever that's causing you to go up, or your hormones too if you haven't gotten tested or you need extra help there, like and it won't come down, or like if you're in green it means it's sustainable for you, you're eating food that makes you feel good, you're able to work out the way you want to work out, kind of a deal. It's easier for you to get back down to stage level when you can maintain somewhere in the green year round. You're not stressed out at work, whatever. Like, so I'm curious, if you're saying you're in the yellow right now, what are some things that are impacting your life in the yellow that you know you need to change to get back to the green?
Everything for me is a process, right? What am I doing diet wise? What are the things that I think are contributing to this from a diet? What are some of the choices that I made that can contribute to that?
Yeah.
So recheck the diet. Now, the stress levels. Where's the stress coming from? Am I doing this or am I doing that? Am I sleeping enough? Like what's off? And then I look at it from a workout perspective. How hard have I been hitting it? For
Yeah.
real, for real. What's my intensity? Have I toned down my intensity and increased my food? Because that's a problem. Like I told you, it's like DJing your lifestyle. Sometimes you'll turn up the food and drop your intensity. No, bodybuilding is increasing the food, increasing the intensity.
Yeah. Having them go together at once. Yeah.
It's all everything, and this whole lifestyle concept that we're putting together is like a one big puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
When you're missing one piece, it throws off the big picture. So the goal is I have checks and balances, and I keep my top 3 checks and balances. What's my food looking like? Where's my stress coming from? And how is my physical nature?
Yeah. You've been doing this since you've been doing this for so long, it's probably really easy for you to mentally make a checklist and like go down and like kind of
Yeah,
examine
it
yourself
is.
internally. But I know that there's a lot of products out there for whether you're just a lifestyle person or a competitive person, like the Aura Ring and the Whoop and stuff, to help you kind of track recovery and track your intensity and how that's affecting you and your sleep. There's stuff you can add to your, like, connect to your bed now that'll physically, tell you what's going on and like send it to your phone. So like
Continuous glucose monitoring
for you, yeah,
for
with the
your metabolism.
yeah, the
Yeah.
continuous glucose stuff. So I'm curious, are you still doing everything manually, like just because you know your body so well now, or are you using any type of technology that's helping you read these things and gives you an
So,
output? Yeah, are you using anything to help you examine your body?
well, right now, um, I'm not
Okay,
because of budgetary.
sure, that's fine.
The studio budget for production is pretty low, but I am just someone like right now.
Hmm. Yeah, manually writing it down. Yeah,
I had to get back to a place where I was willing to do manual labor.
okay,
I understand things so much better. But
yeah,
now that I'm in the off season, now I'm taking a step away from all of my time being occupied with the actual work. Here's the time now that I start planning for the next prep. This is the time that I start planning for the next phases. So I want to, incorporate things like the continuous glucose monitor, Whoop, um, and just other things that can help me see the analytics, because that's where it boils down to it. It's the
hmm,
analytics of it all. It's being
yeah,
able to see where you are in real time and make the adjustments on the fly, not make the adjustments when things have. You don't want to make the adjustments when you get to the red, because trust me, when you get to the red, there's going to be a whole lot more work
they're-
to adjust and get yourself down. Then there's a waiting period just to see if the adjustments that you made are actually
are
working.
working. Yeah, yeah. Did whatever
So
you did in the red get you to the yellow yet? And if not, what's taking so long, and how do you fix that? Because this ain't quick. Quick fixes are dangerous, right? Like you've talked about. You were joking about steroids, but like quick fixes in your diet, taking pills,
no,
taking medication is like, or the thing that pisses me off the most, the skinny tea and the sweatbands around your waist, like it'll help you, blah blah. And it's like, okay, but understanding the physiology of why is that fat there to begin with, it's burning it by wrapping it up in a trash bag isn't going to fix the actual problem. Like, God.
I'm a firm believer of you can put new tires on a car, but if you don't take care of an engine, it ain't gonna run.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's just me. And one thing in my mind, and I know a lot of people, and I've dealt with the struggle, so I know any women that are gonna hear this gonna be like, "Well, Judah, that's a guy
Mm-hmm.
thing." A lot of people aren't mentally strong enough to weigh themselves every day. In my lifestyle, I
Mm-hmm.
have done it so many times for so long that it's so natural for me to wake up, yawn, fart, go to the bathroom, pee, and get on the scale
This is
and and write it on the wall.
mhm.
And like that's just
That is it, ladies and gentlemen.
that
Sudden
that's
sudden is
look,
the end,
man.
women. Ladies, if you're
That that
interested.
that gotta let the gas go. You know, it's a lot of built up methane in there overnight. You've been laying
Oh
prone,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
You're like, hey,
Well,
I'm like a bottle of Sprite.
that's usually what I've heard is like if you're going to get the most without getting a medical grade scale, like if you want the most accurate level of what you weigh today, you do it in the morning on an empty stomach, empty bladder, empty everything, and just take it. And then you go, all right. Because if you wait until the end of the day, that's multiple meals you've had. That's like, as you said,
Water,
water intake that you had all day. Like, so the nighttime body is a very different body from the daytime body.
which is why the
Mhm.
same routine that I follow in the morning is the same routine that I do at night. As
And
I
you
wind down,
wind down.
I
Okay. I was like, wait, the workout or the wind
no,
down routine?
as I wind down, you take your
Yeah.
last poop,
Sure.
use the bathroom, and weigh yourself at night because I think a lot of people that's that is a challenge that I just want to give the average person for 2 weeks. Weigh yourself before bed and the first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And a lot of people always sit there and talk about, oh, Judah, I lost 5 pounds this week. What you'll start to realize is when you get good at your body's, you know, when the metabolism gets cranking again and your body becomes more efficient with the utilization of energy,
Yeah.
meaning when you can digest your food for real, and you not putting it in the body fat, you can lose 4 pounds in one night. I can go to sleep at 188 and wake up at 184 with no problems.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start to see the trends, when you start to see the
Yeah.
variances, and they're dependent upon what you did for that day. What
Mm-hmm.
did you eat that day? Did you go exercise? Are
Yeah.
you dehydrated? Because no or not, let's just say you've been doing well with your water all week,
Yeah.
but on Wednesday night you met a friend for coffee and you drank 2 cups of coffee
Mm-hmm.
and you pissed out all of your water. The next morning that you wake up, you're gonna be heavy because the moment you put water back in before bed, it's gonna swell the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime that you swell, whenever the muscle has intercellular swelling, and that happens when we work out, that happens when we're dehydrated, those muscle cells will expand, and those weigh. They actually hold weight. They're dense. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a sponge don't. Muscles are sponges. A sponge weighs nothing if you sit it on the scale. Dunk it in some water, and sit that same sponge on the scale. It's the same
Yeah.
concept with our
See
bodies.
what happens. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if we can
Mm.
stay consistent, how much am I losing over that night of fasting? If you can stay consistent on there, you'll get a good idea of how your body is actually processing. And a lot of people don't realize it's just that easy. And track that for about 3 weeks and see what your trends are, see what your variables are. And now you can start to manipulate, okay, what will happen if I move my dinner up earlier and went to sleep? What if I didn't drink any more water after that? Like, you can make little tweaks like that just to kind of find, like, that's a simple way of
Yeah.
finding out how your body's efficiency levels are. So those are little things that I've already just, once again, like I told you, the routine is everything. That's just in my normal routine. I just write it on the wall. Like, I got my paper there. I got my cool little pens that I get from the show. What is this?
Oh, what's
Fit
it say?
Fit with King.
Fit with King. It looks like a pink pen. So I was like, is that your Barbie pen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fit with King. I
Mm.
guess it was one of the show sponsors,
Yeah, might have
you
been.
know. So, but love the pen though. I actually
Yeah.
got, since I competed in 2 shows, I guess that sponsor was it,
Because
sponsoring two
you're a
shows.
double fit king. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah,
Eh,
it's just,
yeah.
I think it's starting with the simple analysis of the body.
Yeah.
Being able to judge how you feel according to how what you did is it's simple, but yet so important for the average person, because a lot of people just don't, they don't want to know how the body works. They don't care to know how the body works. So therefore, they're delusional about what progress looks like.
And how to track that in a way that's actually going to collect the data correctly to be accurate and tell you what you need to do for
Yeah,
the show. I would, yeah.
that's
Well,
why
tell me a
doing
little.
weight by itself is just doing weight by
Well,
itself is just so
yeah.
ugh.
Well, I think it's the trick there. It's a fine line to walk when you're the personal trainer or the coach of the individual person that's trying to learn how to do this appropriately, I think, right? Because you got to take into account how do they view and perceive weight, and how do I retrain their mind to not spiral about the weight. Because in order to do well and get them towards whatever goal that is, I would assume you're teaching them to track the weight daily, because you need to take the average of that progress from that week and
Yes,
then find out at the end of the month what were your average numbers, so that way we can see how much weight you actually lost. Because then you can track it on the scale where you're going to fluctuate. Some days you're high, some days you're low, some days you're high, some days you're low. But if the trend is still going down, despite being like a little staticky and jumpy on the way down, then you're
which
doing
is gonna be.
right. You're doing what you need to do. But the person that might be trying to enter into this world who doesn't have that background or that training or that prior experience, or that, as you said, we don't get a lot of proper health and wellness training or education in America. So if you don't have that to begin with, it can be a bit of a mind, for lack of a better term, bit
Yeah,
of a mind fuck, teaching your
yeah.
client to be like, you have to get on the scale every day and just write the number down. The number in and of itself doesn't tell me anything. But when you put the number against everything else that's been going on for that entire month, then I can like interpret what this means and what we're doing and if it's working. So I think that's good. That's a good lesson that you've been able to not only learn for yourself, but you've been able to impart that wisdom to your followers and to your teammates and anybody else that's been working with you in the lifestyle coaching. I am curious though. It sounds like you accomplished a lot at the most recent shows, but I think you also, I would assume, you learned a lot about yourself, because I kind of feel like you learn and tweak and become 4.0 Judah, right? After every single show, you become new Judah, not in a good way necessarily or a bad way. You just become ever more knowledgeable Judah. So I'm curious, what what happened this year, and what have you learned about yourself through this most recent process?
It's been one of the most cliche things spread within the fitness industry, personal
Yeah,
training,
yeah.
health and wellness, development, coaching, whatever.
This is,
Trust the process. Trust in the process.
mm-hmm.
You've heard it. I mean, they're on that monikers on t-shirts all over the world.
Yeah.
And I learned this year how deep that goes. Right now in the off season, in the downtime, this is time to get the paperwork done. This is the
Yeah.
time to start, structuring what the next couple months look like, leading into my next year's pursuit, and just this year, because I chose to do it the way that I did, which, I've never prepped for 25 weeks before. That, in my mind, that's a long time. So I made sure
Yeah.
that I didn't overdo cardio. I made sure I didn't, under hit my calories, because I remember last year at the end of the season how exhausted I was. And I basically forfeited the growth, the pro show rebound last year, because I had to take 7 weeks off from just overall immune disaster. So going into this season, it was going to be a slower approach that may not yield as much definition and cutting, but the goal was to come out of this successful and healthy. This year, I had to learn, 4 weeks out, I'm usually way more tighter than this 4 weeks out. Judah, just trust this process. Whoa, 2 weeks out, man. I hope things start to turn around. And I had to kind of calm myself down, because that right there by itself will kind of spark the anxiety levels that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
So just being able to really trust the process this year and saying you're still a whole year out from your big goal. Learn this year. It's not about going in winning. Like, placing well is always at the forefront, but get to Chattanooga, bro.
Right.
Get your ass on the stage, bro. Bring those pictures home, bro. And then 5 weeks from now, get on the stage again, bring in better pictures, because a lot of your content is going to start being you comparing yourself, showing people what real growth from the stage looks like, not from your garage, because people can manipulate, people can put filters, people can do all. No, every picture that I want to put up, I want stage pictures. I want to show people how the judges are watching me grow. And you got to remember, in that whole process, if I don't hit the same poses during the pictures, I won't get a proper understanding of what my growth. I won't have content. If I don't do the show, and if I don't do the poses, if I forget, if I brain fart and don't do a particular pose, I don't get the pictures. That's what prep is. Prep is preparing myself to go in and do what I have prepared for. It's the execution of the written preparedness. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I'm in right now. What
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning now is to better write out my, okay, I'll utilize this growth period for another 2 months. I'll start dwindling down around Christmas. I start reeling it back in around Christmas, New Year's resolutions, kind of get myself back up moving.
Yeah.
But next year is different, because I wanted to do a show at the end of this year, well, at the end of October, because there's another one in Chattanooga, and I'm loving my picture comparisons. Like I like seeing how I'm progressing from show to show within those 5 week parameters. But with a lot going on at the end of the year, I gotta do some traveling. Budget be tight already, so I gotta I gotta go see my nephew. My nephew's senior year in football. I gotta go to Birmingham. I
Oh
gotta be there.
yeah.
You
Go say hi
know,
to Madison too.
yeah, I gotta see her and my man's. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
all they got
they got
two
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 babies
kids
now.
now.
I know. I know.
Poor Jose.
Joe's fine. He good.
Anyways,
Yeah.
just and so I took this opportunity to say, all right, I'm
Yeah.
done for the season bodybuilding, because
Mm.
this is another byproduct of the way that I chose to do this prep. I got so much energy now. I have enough energy to do 3 shows. Last year, I was like, I don't think I want to do shows ever again.
Yeah.
But that was just, post show mind talking.
Yeah. Post show
But
blues.
this, But this year I came out with more energy and more, to get back started. So that was a good sign for me.
Okay.
But next year is different because I truly want my birthday to be my next show. I
Where is
want to push as hard as I can. I'm gonna do a cut before my birthday of March 1st because Judah 4.0 is going to be the best physique to
yeah,
date. And I
today?
want that on my birthday, March 1st.
All right. Is there a show in March that you've already found?
Um, what I'm playing around with it. There's actually one on my birthday that could possibly get me my pro card on
Hey.
my birthday,
Yeah.
but I'm trusting the process, and
Okay.
the process is to have the best competitive physique by next summer. That gives me one full year to really put forth the time and effort that I know I'm going to need to present my best package on stage. So
Mm-hmm.
next year, I'm going to kind of repeat this year's show schedule.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the state show again in August. I'm going to do the NPC Natural show again in September, which is going to be here in Nashville. And then, depending upon those two, show outcomes, that's when I'll start kind of shooting for my pro card towards the end of the year. And most of the pro qualifier shows and national shows are at the end of the year anyway. Yeah, I'll probably just repeat this over again, but right now I'm kind of structuring what my workout schedule, my diet, even the business aspect of it, where it be podcasting and all that stuff, where does that fit within these next couple months? Because I know I'll go into a hard cut starting New Year's,
Yeah.
running it to my birthday. And so I'm planning my birthday party. So be ready. If you got anything around the first weekend of March, go ahead and cancel it.
I don't think so.
Telling you now, it's gonna be Judah's version of Burning Man.
Oh my lord. Just free bland grilled chicken for everybody.
Nope. We are like
What are
I
we
gotta
doing?
find some.
What's
If
happening?
I know your
Ooh.
dad knows somebody. I
About what?
need I need some land out in the
Okay.
woods where I could
Okay.
do one of the biggest bonfires ever.
Okay.
And everybody who comes to my party, I am going to encourage you to bring. It's going to be burning bridges. That's what we call it. The theme of my the theme of my birthday is burning bridges because
Okay.
we've been taught to not burn bridges in our lives, right?
Okay.
But what if those bridges are leading you backwards?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to encourage everybody to bring things that symbolize things that we don't need anymore in our lives and
Sure.
throw it into the bonfire and burn it.
Yeah.
Because going into 40, I need to there are some bridges that I need to burn the connections to. It's almost like Cortez when they, went back and tried to conquer the Aztecs. He burned the ships. He looked at his army and was like, it's either we go and conquer these guys or we're gonna die because you can't get back to Spain. Like we're burning the ships right now. It's
Yeah.
either you succeed or you die. And I took that to heart because it's like there's so many lessons that we learn in the decades that we've been able to experience. And my 30s were a rough decade for me,
Yeah.
super rough. And in order for me to continuously grow and become the Judah that you can see me becoming, the Judah I want to become, there's a lot of connections that need to be just disconnected because my energy needs to flow this way. You can't flow this way while pulling something this way. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the theme of my birthday, my 40th birthday. So be on the lookout
For a
for.
bunch of fire everywhere.
It's just Judah's
Yeah.
birthday.
Judah. Yeah, it sounds more like Judah's burn day rather than birthday, but sure. Yeah.
Oh, that
Mhm.
could be very catchy on the flyer as well.
Yeah. It's almost like I'm in marketing or something.
No,
Yeah.
you are. You're my producer. So
Uh, You're so
also known
funny.
as my manager, also known as Bay. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
my
All these
lord,
things.
you're so funny. Yeah, I mean, I've I have thought about that. In high school, a friend of mine, when I was on the soccer team, she was a forward and she was really, really good. And we thought she was going to go pro and get picked up right after high school, which she could have, I'm sure, if she had wanted to. But I used to joke with her that, like, you go do whatever it is you need to do. I'll go to college and learn how to become a sports agent. And then we're just gonna kill it. We're gonna, burn the industry down with all your success. But it never actually happened. But maybe that's where I could have been good at stuff if I had ever gone into that kind of lifestyle or that particular industry. It would have been interesting. I have
Well,
a few friends now
you in
that
it
are
now.
talent managers. Well, I don't know because I don't know jack about sports in and of itself, but I do have friends that they work for management or media companies and they are the talent managers. But I know I need to tap my friends again and be like, hey, can I bend your ear for a second and just figure out if that's even something I'd be good at or would want to do. But it looks
I
like a
think you'd
very
be great at it.
well, it's a very interesting and promising space because marketing has changed so much in the last, I'll say 10 years, but like really drastically in the last 5. Talent management and content creation and artists, uh, that role and that particular career is shifting and becoming more mainstream and being more accepted in society, and like especially lately with all the different protests that have happened in LA with the writer strikes and stuff and the actor strikes and trying to negotiate rights to their own images and likeness and getting credit for being the authors and writers on all these shows and things like that. It's pushing people to wanting to be their own individual content creators and having ownership over whatever it is that their artistry, and people are acknowledging that, like micro influencers are getting deals and getting sponsorships and creating content around that. So like brands are noticing how they choose to advertise is changing, who they're following and who they're getting on their payroll to push for that for them is it's changing. It's not just famous people anymore. It
Yeah.
can be localized content creators. So it's very interesting, a very interesting time to get into talent management.
Anything.
Yeah, to get into anything, but in particular to get into talent management, because talent is now a much wider or a broader group of people than it traditionally used to be, if that makes any sense.
The cool thing about the growth process is the niche avenues. You
Mhm.
know, no one knows what talent acquisition is. Like you said, talent acquisition and marketing have changed over the years. You can go talk to somebody who was in corporate marketing just 10 years ago and talk to somebody who's in corporate marketing or talent acquisition now, and these two people can't even have a similar conversation, you
Sure.
know? And so it develops these different niches that are not being facilitated, and one of my niches is you know through the bodybuilding, through my motivational speaking, through podcasting. I want to also create lanes of people who want to be lifestyle models, you know in the fitness industry,
Mhm.
because everybody needs a flyer with somebody fit on it. I'm kind of alluding to that opportunity I was telling you about. But leveraging who's leveraging those opportunities, who's helping people find those particular markets where you got a gym looking for somebody to be on a flyer that's really ripped, or like that's one thing I want to bring to the table is you got a lot of people with great physiques in the gym who work at
Yeah.
T-Mobile.
Sure.
Why are you so ripped and you work in a cubicle? Like exactly, but why not have an ability as like that side hustle of, hey, what you doing on Saturday? Hey, I got a company that wants, some real fit
Mhm.
people to do a commercial real quick. You down for it? It
Sure.
pays $700 a session. You know what I'm saying? Like you're already doing the work. You're already living the lifestyle. You've already got the physique. Who's out there leveraging those deals and putting you in contact with those potential opportunities?
Oh, it seems like if you're able to get in that, you want to go down that avenue, it does seem to help if you have a particular talent manager or an agent that is getting you in front of those opportunities that you're not aware of. So I know Nashville's got several modeling agencies and things like that, and there's
Oh yeah.
fitness levels that they're trying to fill. So it would make sense. I've been telling you to be a model for years, though. Been like, you need
You
to call
know,
these people.
I had to look at myself and go, am I
Mhm.
model material?
I don't know.
But you know, it wasn't until this opportunity came up where somebody, you know, it's just crazy how God works. Sent me this said, they're looking for an extremely muscular man who lives in Nashville
Mhm.
who knows how to work machines in the gym. I was like,
That's you.
okay, here's my application. Oh, and it has a personality that they can, you know, talk on. Here you go.
Yeah.
But once again, it's, you know,
Sure.
right now we're, like you said, this is a perfect opportunity to do anything, you know, but you just
Yeah.
have to have, fortunate for me,
Yeah.
that my body has been in the forefront of all of my business acquisitions,
Mhm.
whether it be, you know, bodybuilding, whether it be coaching classes, whether it even be personal training. I've always had my body to actually give me that extra revenue, you know, that extra opportunity. And now that I'm tapping in even more, I can start to see the opportunities getting bigger. So
Of course.
it's more of a reason for me to want to do better in shows, want to get my pro card, because imagine IFBB Natural Pro Judah Lando
Mhm.
sponsoring something as opposed to just, you know, regular old Judah. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it doesn't, I'm not saying that you have to be in shape. I'm saying that I'm fortunate enough that the thing that I've put the most time, effort, and attention to in my personal life is being able to produce. I can begin to see the fruits of the labor, and
Right.
that's amazing to keep that. That's how you maintain your motivation.
I love that. Hi, everyone. That's the end of part 2 of our interview with Judah Landau, our good friend. He's been really funny, huh? He's had a lot of crazy gym theories so far in the first 2 parts of this interview, but I love him so much. It's been such a pleasure talking to him. And if you enjoy hearing our interactions, I'll be happy to bring him back on another time. But without further ado, we're just going to close out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review. You know the drill. I always want to hear from you. I always want you to share the show with your friends, anyone you think could benefit from listening to my journey in this saga of what is my crazy life while I'm trying to find my purpose again. I always appreciate your support and any insight my lovely wanderers want to impart upon me. You can always find me at askwhatnowpodcast@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I will make sure all the contact information is added to the show notes. Any discount codes you might want, hit me up if you have any questions about any of those brands. I only provide links for things that I actually use and have implemented into my life and absolutely love. So don't be a stranger. Don't be afraid to ask. I'm always here to chat. And I hope you have a wonderful day. But don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review. Go listen to part 3. Thank you. Love you, mean it. Bye.